hello. Our Community Crossings Matching Fund State Monies was announced today. At just a little after about noon, 2 p.m., I think, maybe 1, 2, somewhere around in there. So if you're watching from Indiana, or if you know people that live, work, or play in Indiana, specifically if they live or if you drive through Indiana, this is going to be important for you. If you're not from Indiana, if you're in one of the other amazing states around the United States, this should still be an interesting show. It's going to tell you a little bit about how we interact at the local level with state funds and whatnot, and kind of what goes on. So I'm sure your states have programs similar to what we're going to be talking about in this episode tonight. So please don't just tune out. This will be a good show. We will make it entertaining for everyone, as always. Muncie streets are in too good a shape to get any state funds. What are you talking about? We don't need any funds here. What are we talking about? So Lowe's sells blacktop in bags. Donate today to Dan's Holes. You know, we also have a new store where you can pick up stuff like that on the south side of town. Look what he did for us. Tell us how big that zero is. Well, he's about 5'8". Oh, you didn't mean Dan. You meant that zero that we got today from the state. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. I do want to take a second and show y'all the artwork tonight. No match for Muncie. What's the deal? But look, folks, it's not just Muncie, man. There's a lot of other places where people watch this from that also are going to be pissed off, and rightfully so. So we're going to be talking about all of that. Now on to this community crossings situation. So the city, basically, I'm not really sure if everyone is aware of what goes on, but basically, in the state of Indiana, we have what's called the Community Crossings Matching Fund Grant. And it's part of Governor Holcomb, which I'm not a fan of. It's part of his program called the Next Level Roads. I always think that he says that kind of like being a smartass. Like, in Indiana, we got some next level roads. It's like, have you ever been to Indiana? The state of Indiana got together with all the municipalities and all of the little local governments, and everyone talked, and the state legislature and all that put in place this amazing little deal here. That's the Community Crossings Grant Program. And every year there are 2 rounds. There's a spring and a fall round. And basically what happens is every municipality in the state of Indiana, every government entity, everybody, okay, Community Crossings Grant is open to all local government units in the state of Indiana. So in Indiana, we have 92 counties. Those 92 counties then have all kinds of various cities and towns in them. And basically what happens is these towns, cities, and counties can all apply to the 2 rounds each year. The first round is the call for projects is for a month in January, and then the round 2 is a month in July. And so basically what happens is in January, all of the local government units in Indiana can put forward their application, and they say, "Dear state of Indiana, dear INDOT, Indiana Department of Transportation. We want to do these local road projects in our community. And we have this much money that we want to put forward. Will you please, kind sirs and madams and ma'ams and whatever, give us some money and help us out? And then if the projects are worthy and whatnot, then basically what happens is they go forward and they will do it. And so essentially what happens is the it's like a breakdown on size. So they match it. It's a matching grant. The money does not have to be paid back. Like the state gives this money to the municipality, to the county, to the city, to the town. And basically what happens is, let's just say here for the sake of argument, if you have, for example, if it's a 50-50, then that means they match whatever you put up. If I put up $100 and I'm going to pave my little street here in Bilbreyville, and it's going to cost me $100, and I say I've got $100 and I win, the state says, here, Mayor of Bilbreyville, here's $100. I pay $100 and they pay $100. So for my $100, I get to pave $200 worth of road. Ta-da! See how that goes? There are some communities that they put up money and they put it's a 75-20 match. And so basically what happens is what I don't know, Kate, can you help me? Do you know, do we, in the 75-25, is it who puts up the 75, who puts up the 25?
The community does 25. The grant covers 75.
Okay. I thought that's how it was. So, for example, then if I was in the area that does the 25-75, and in my little community, I would say, well, I only have $25. I'll put up $25, and the state says, okay, here, Mayor of Bilbreyville, we'll give you $75. So then, for my $25, I can pave $100 of roadway. So I will pull this up and let you guys see this here. Whoops. That wasn't it. This is what I wanted to show y'all. So this is for the first round. The 2023-1 Community Crossings Matching Grant Program, launched in 2016. I was right about that. The Community Crossings Matching Grant Program provides funding to cities, towns, and counties across Indiana to make improvements to local roads and bridges. Community Crossings is in partnership between INDOT and Hoosier communities, both urban and rural, to invest in infrastructure projects that catalyze economic development, create jobs, strengthen local transportation networks. Since 2016, the state has awarded $1.148 billion in state funds to support local roads and bridge projects throughout Indiana. Projects that are eligible for funding through Community Crossings include road and bridge preservation projects with Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA compliance. In connection with these projects, material costs for chip sealing and crack filling operations are also eligible for funding. Community Crossing is open to all local government units in the state of Indiana. Match percentages are like this. Cities and towns with a population of fewer than 10,000 will receive funds using the 75-25 match. Cities and towns with a population of greater than 10,000 will receive funds using a 50-50 match. Counties with a population of fewer than 50,000 people will receive funding using the 75-20 match. And then counties with a population of greater than 50,000 people will receive funds using the 50-50 match. So, for example, the city of Winchester is a city that has fewer than 10,000. So Winchester would apply for this. The city of Muncie has greater than 10,000. So the city of Muncie would apply for this. All right. The county of Delaware County has a population of greater than 50,000 and would apply for this. And Randolph County has a population fewer than 50,000 and would apply for this. So that's how that goes. Note, please be aware that your match may have changed based upon the 2020 census. Frequently asked questions: who is eligible to apply? All Indiana city, towns, county governments. When can I apply? The 2023 first call for projects will begin at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Monday, January 2nd. When is the deadline to submit applications? The call deadline is Friday, January 27th, 2023 at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. At 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time on the closing date, the online application will stop accepting applications. When will grant awards be announced? Depending on how many applications are received, we anticipate making announcements in late March or early April 2023. What are the program requirements? All local government units must have a current approved asset management plan and provide a funding match. Which types of projects are eligible? Road and bridge projects submitted must be included in and a part of the local government's complete asset management plan. Local road and bridge preservation type projects. Existing ADA ramp work is required when doing a minimum of a mill and overlay. Regardless of the work type, milling and overlaying, the process of grinding asphalt with a milling machine, removing the debris and installing new asphalt. The overlay must be a minimum of an inch and a half inches. Existing ADA sidewalks are eligible for rehabilitation. If the road project is getting a minimum of a 1.5 inch mill and overlay, no new sidewalk project. Drainage work that is associated with specific road projects, yada, yada, yada. What projects, types of service are not eligible? Preliminary engineering, land purchasing, right-of-way, utility relocation, construction inspection, labor, equipment, railroad crossing upgrades, water and sanitary. So it just goes down and it really tells the governments, what's happening here. Can grant funding be used for preliminary engineering right-of-way? No, the community crossing grant is for construction only. Maintenance of traffic is part of construction. We do not participate in contingency fees or contractor contracts. Can local governments do their own work in-house, force accounts? Yes, however, all state laws must be followed, yada, yada, yada. Are already awarded contracts for road and bridge construction bought materials eligible? No. Okay. You got to tell, you can tell like they have to put in some really common sense things because like government is really trying to cheat, here, it's really amazing. So it just kind of goes down through this. Awarded amounts will be determined by the amount of revenue collected through the gas tax and vehicle registration fees. State law requires INDOT to allocate at least 50% of the total funds to local government that fall within a county with a population less than 50,000. INDOT caps the award amount at $1 million per local government per calendar year. Okay, so that's important. What happens if all the grant money is not used for each call? By law, state funds that have been appropriated for the matching grant program are dedicated to the program. If funds are left over at the end of a call for projects, the remaining fund will roll over to the next call. Remaining funds will not revert to the general fund or be reallocated for any other purpose. Can local governments apply with other local governments to partner on road projects? Yes. Yada, yada, yada. They can do that. If local government's project is selected funds, when will the funding be available? Funding for the state's portion. It just talks about all of that. How do I apply? Is there required documentation to submit with each application? Yes, obviously. What methodology does INDOT use to decision-making for good applications? All good applications must have a signed financial commitment letter, detailed estimate for each road segment, and an approved asset management plan. Your project estimate and mapping must be very clear as to what segment of road you are seeking funding for. INDOT also reviews all previous awarded CCMG projects to ensure that projects older than 18 months have been closed out. A review and a determination are made to ensure that local unit of government is either compliant or making good faith effort as it relates to ADA Title VI compliance. If any of these are not met, the application will be deemed ineligible. Does INDOT do a technical review of all applications? Yes, INDOT does, blah, 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 blah. Can local governments submit multiple projects? Yes. If a local government does not have the, pursue a grant? No. Does INDOT need the approval of asset management? Yes. How do I start putting together my asset management plan? They tell you right there. If I submitted an asset management plan last year and was approved, do I need to update my plan? Yes. Do federal and state laws apply to any phase of the project? No, that's just we don't do that. No, laws don't apply here. So what it does then, ladies and gentlemen, is it breaks the communities down, the state, into sections. So you see here, there's a Crawfordsville, a Fort Wayne, a Greenfield, LaPorte, Seymour, Vincennes, and central offices. East Central Indiana is in the Greenfield area, okay? So that's very important. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to look at comments here. Any communities in District 3 get the grant? Here we go, Brandon. I'm going to let you all know here. That it is a lot of bullshit. Charlize. So let me get back to what there's a problem asset management plan. I see that, Kate. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, so Kate has pulled up. Muncie got just under $1 million in 2020. Got 80,000 in 2021 and 1 million in 2022. Do you know when those were awarded, Kate? If it was first phase or second phase, if they were awarded in April or if they were awarded in September?
Those are the totals for the year.
Okay.
Those are the totals.
Okay.
Okay,
sorry. Very good.
I wasn't going to try to break that down. It was
no. That's fine. That's fine. Well, and I didn't know if they apply, because I know that if you apply, like, well, we'll go over the numbers here. For
2020, they had 2 rounds. 2021, they had 2 rounds, and I think 2022 they had both rounds too. You mean Muncie won both rounds? Uh-huh. Okay, so they won in both rounds. Right, and that was the total for the year. Okay, for the year. So they didn't so that means we did not get it this year. And we're this round. There will be another round next year, but for some reason we did not receive money this year. So that's the thing that now we're going to go over here. Before we kick over there, I want to bring you to the actual press release, ladies and gentlemen. And bear with me, when I'm reading this, I will not be able to see the comments. So as I'm reading, I don't see the comments because I'm on another page. Keep that in mind, everybody. April 12, 2023, Government Holcomb INDOT awarded more than $133 million through Community Crossings Grant Program. Indianapolis, Indiana. Governor Eric J. Holcomb and the Indiana Department of Transportation, INDOT, announces 224 Indiana cities, towns, and counties that will receive a combined $133.4 million in state matching funds for local road projects through the Community Crossings, a component of Governor Holcomb's Next Level Road program.
The continued success of the Community Crossings program becomes more evident each year, said Governor Holcomb. Improving transportation infrastructure at the most local level makes communities that much more attractive for businesses and Hoosier families alike to connect and grow. Communities submitted applications for funding during the highly competitive call for projects in January. Applications were evaluated based on need and current conditions, as well as impacts to safety and economic development. Funding for the Community Crossings comes from the state's local road and bridge matching fund, grant fund. The Community Crossings Initiative have provided more than $1.27 billion in state matching funds for local construction projects since 2016. So, this is the press release that went out. Briefly here, I want to show you this Community Crossing matching grant. I just want to show you this briefly here, and then we're going to go over the winners and the losers. We are right now in the 2023 One Community Crossings matching grant, awarded in April. In April, 224 Indiana cities, towns, and counties received that money. There will be a new round, the second round, and they will open their call for projects. Like I said, in January and July. The one in July will start at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, July 5th, and it will close at 5 p.m. on Friday, July 28th. And so any local government unit in Indiana that has received under $1 million will be able to apply. And so it just tells a little bit of information here. And again, it tells about the matching, who gets the what matching, yada, yada, yada. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go into the winners and the losers. But before we do that, I have broke this down. I broke down the area around us. I broke it down here. So I want to show that one first because it is a little different than the rest of the pages. So let me pull that up here to show you guys that. Okay. Here is the local winners. Albany, Indiana, which is a town in Delaware County, received $405,000, $436,28. So $405,000 Albany received, which, hey, go figure. We have a Delaware County commissioner that lives there. Albany nearly always wins. I don't know that Albany has not won since Shannon has been in the commissioner's office. Lo and behold, look at that. Daleville receives $120,020.64. Why? I wonder why. Well, we've got a Delaware County commissioner that lives there as well. Well, and looky there. Delaware County received $640,090.50. Looky here. Looky Christmas cookie. So for those of you in the Muncie, Delaware County area, you will note that only Delaware County won $640,000, Albany won, and Daleville won. Eaton didn't win or maybe didn't go out. Gaston didn't win, maybe didn't go out. Yorktown didn't win or maybe didn't go out. Selma didn't win or maybe didn't go out. Muncie, the city of Muncie, did not win. The city of Muncie did not win. Now, I have correspondence in with various people in Muncie. Okay. Yeah, Sarah, that's very interesting what you're talking about there. Albany, with a population of around 2,500 people, received $500,000. And when I tell you some of these other numbers, it's going to blow your mind. So I have the following questions in to the city administration. Do you have a comment on this, Mayor? Mayor, do we have a comment on Muncie not receiving any funding for road repair? Literally, that has been the thorn. There's been two thorns in Dan's side since Dan has been in office. One of them has been potholes and road condition, and the other's name is Kristopher Bilbrey. Two thorns in Ridenour's side, potholes and Bilbrey. So, the fact that we didn't receive any money is quite interesting, because in 2018, I can remember the Tyler administration didn't get community crossing grants, and the Republicans, including Dan Ridenour, lost their fucking minds. They went after Dennis, and they talked about how horrible it was and what are we ever going to do? So, how will we ever fill Dan's holes? No shit. So, after I asked if they have a comment on this, I then went back and said, well, obviously, I need to ask, did we even apply? Surely we applied, Doug. Surely we applied, right? Like, we applied, right? Just to make sure, this afternoon, right before the city got out for the day, I sent a records request, or right at the end of the day, I sent a records request to them for the application, the request that what I requested for from the City of Muncie in today's record request is as follows. I requested a copy of all of the application from the 2023-1 application process, and any and all other documentation that the city submitted to the state of Indiana for the first round 2023-1 of the Community Crossings Grant. I said the Community Crossings Grant call for projects for the first round was from 8 a.m. on Monday, January 2nd, 2023, through 5 p.m. on Friday, January 27th, 2023. And I'm looking for any and all documentation surrounding this grant and the Community Crossings application process, and I want it all. So I hopefully will have that. I then, again, like I said, ask for, the comment, give me a commentary on, what your thoughts of not receiving this. I then said, well, I guess I should start out by asking if we even applied. If we didn't apply, that would be a big problem. If we did apply and we didn't receive money, well, I'm interested in why. He's the grant writer, but I don't know that he would have turned this in. When I asked Michelle said that she would go to Adam. Adam is the engineer and on the street department, and I would assume that he did. But to put in perspective, $133 million to the state is contributing, wouldn't pave every street in Muncie, so it's not as much as the government makes it sound. Oh no, yeah, you're right. You're right, absolutely. I mean, the most we could have got was $1 million. But think about that. Think about what that means. Shit. I'll be honest, Sarah. I don't know what that guy's doing. I have no clue what he's doing. Honestly, I thought we just gave a friend. I just thought we gave a friend a job. I didn't know he was doing anything up there, to be honest. But I'm sure some people will be mad at me for saying that, but I don't know what the hell he's doing. So again, I want to say, in 2020, Muncie received $1 million. In 2021, we received 800,000, and in 2022, we received $1 million. So basically, what that is we're getting $2 million of paving done for $1 million. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot, but it's always double what we're paying. So, it's always better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Yeah, that's a good question, Sarah. I think I'll probably be asking for that. That is very believable. I then ask, where does this leave the city as far as our plans to pave? And I am currently awaiting on responses to this. Michelle said that she would talk to Adam and get back to me. So, we'll have to see. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Interestingly enough here, there's more places than just places around Muncie. I want to give everybody kind of a rundown. Albany received $405,000. Daleville received $120,000. Delaware County received $640,000. Bloomington, another small college town, it houses Indiana University, IU. They received $462,000. So you mean to tell me that Albany should receive close to the same amount of money that Bloomington received? That's nuts. Lafayette, also another, Lafayette and West Lafayette, close. It's a little bigger than Muncie now, Tippecanoe County, received $882,000. Gas City up in Grant County received almost $1 million. Gas City received $944,261. Elwood received $748,744. Jay County for Brando. Jay County received a whopping $46,299. Like, hell, if they were driving the check there, that's how much it'd cost in gas. That's just the cost of the gas to get from Indianapolis to Jay County and back. I mean, I don't know what kind of project they're going to do. I mean, that literally means that Jay County, sitting somewhere in Jay County, are elected officials that literally have a paving project that is $92,599. Like they could barely pave your driveway for that. Paying nothing is better than paying anything. If you John Fisher. Remember, they have to show that they can match the funds. Absolutely. Sure. Right. So my question is, I think I'm going to hire a film crew to film a special press conference for me and everyone I know who's tired of the government paying taxes. Hey, you let me know when and where, and I will be there. I'll drive to Michigan. Kennard, the small town of Kennard down in Henry County, it got $54,000. 206. Richmond received 699,000. Union City, Indiana received 237,988. 237,000. Now, Anderson, Newcastle, Henry County, Noblesville, Fishers, Allen County, Fort Wayne, Marion, Delphi, Hamilton County, Batesville, all of those communities that I just read off all received $1 million. They all received their $1 million, bam, lump sum in the first round. So that means they are now ineligible, not eligible for the next round. But they did receive that. I mean, Anderson received $1 million. Newcastle received $1 million. You know, Batesville received $1 million. Delphi, all these places are much smaller than Muncie. Anderson received $1 million, you know, so just interesting to see to me, you know, me, who won what, when, and where, the different people, you know, won different things. I'm gonna quickly run down here. This is the winners. Here's what we're looking at here. This is what we're looking at here. I'll crawl slowly, kind of, so everybody can kind of get an understanding. You can receive all of this information. I will share the link here in a minute. Or if Kate could do that, that would be fantastic. And you can get the link off where you can either find the link or I can send it to you. Here's the local area. Here's the Greenfield area. Delaware County. Economy, that would say 77,000. There's only 2 roads in economy. Meridian Hills, hell, I mean, holy shit. Orestes received 170,000. I didn't know anybody lived in Orestes. Hobart, I've always liked going in the little community of Hobart. Hell, they received $1 million. Munster, when I was little, I always wished Muncie was Munster instead of Muncie. I always wanted our community to be called Munster. I wish I could just always thought, I'm the Munster Police Department. That would be cool. South Bend received $1 million. St. Joe received $1 million. St. John received $1 million. Stark County received $1 million. $1 million here, $1 million there. Everybody received $1 million. Valparaiso received $1 million. We're talking about the region now for all of you up there, all of you region rats. You can hear the sound of my voice. That's the asshole of the universe. We're going slowly through all of this. Big Scottsburg. Down there in the area where they've had a major AIDS outbreak. I think that's all been combated now recently, but for the last several years, they had a major AIDS outbreak down there. Tell City, Spencer County, Sullivan County, Vanderburgh County, Warwick County, Washington. So that's the whole list there, folks. So and I don't know. Nothing. Winchester received nothing. Randolph County received nothing. Winchester, nothing. Randolph County, nothing. Now, Winchester has in the past Eric. Mayor Bobbery. Man, I cannot wait till Winchester's next council meeting, because I am going to go and make sure that they know whatever the hell Jim Nunes said at that last meeting was insane. I'm going to have nothing but dumb shit to say to Nunes. It's going to be amazing. So, folks, I don't know. I don't know if Ridenour applied, if the mayor's administration, if they applied. I don't know if they didn't apply. There's a lot of questions. If they applied and the application was shitful, why? If it wasn't shitful and we just didn't get it, why? There's a lot of questions there. Where's the money, Lebowski? Goodbye.